Hey guys, what's up? So Roman Saini is back, and this is a very important lesson. And if you go through it, I guarantee you it will really help you in avoiding which time, like the time will be wasting a lot in next 1 year. You can avoid it by avoiding these 10 books while you are preparing for UPSC. This is presented by this guy, and like this is a room of an aspirant, an average aspirant's room. Obviously, you will not be able to read any of it at all. Okay, so follow me on an academy on this link. Cool. So let's get started. First of all, general problem faced by lacks of aspirant, that there are so many resources people don't understand, especially those who are not living in Delhi. They will never understand that there are so many resources, sir and ma'am. It is virtually impossible to learn from all of them. Ample resources are available in the market. For example, for 65 to 75 years, you will have, this is the average, 25,000 to 30,000 days, out of which if you are 26 or 27, you are already 10,000 years old, 10,000 days old. So already one third of your life is gone, and already I'm saying there are lakhs of resources available in the market. So it's impossible to study all of them even if you give one book a day. So you have to keep the resources limited, and revision is the key mantra. So the entire philosophy of my books to avoid is based on that. They are more than 500 pages. It is impossible to revise them. The cost benefit analysis is bad. So you should not read them in the first place. So like books mentioned are credible in their own way. If you want to, let's say, check certain topic or check certain fact, that whether this is right or wrong, whether this is asked in UPSC, whether you want to see answer key is right or wrong, so their credibility is very high. But from UPSC perspective, there is a lot of disadvantage. Say they're time consuming, since they are more than 500 pages, so it is very like time consuming to read them. It might take 3 weeks, 1 month to read them. Information is completely overloaded. It's not exam specific. Like the author will not tell this will be asked in the exam, this will not be asked in the exam. Author is just writing a scholarly book, and an inability to filter what is relevant and what is not relevant. This is very important. So at the end of the day, you have very low cost benefit ratio. For example, Rajiv Ahir's Spectrum book, if you read the 300 pages from that book, you might solve 10 MCQs. So the cost benefit analysis is very high. Like you give 1 week and you solve 10 questions. But if you read Bipin Chandra for 1 week, you will not be able to solve even one or two questions. So cost benefit analysis, the ratio is low. What the point? Anything which has more than 500 pages, you should avoid it. So always follow the time tested methods. I have done this. I have like talked to so many toppers. So don't experiment on your own. Just follow these time tested methods, and I'm sharing my experience of 2 years of preparation, what actually works. So if I want to like ask my brother to prepare, I will be telling him the exact same thing. So first of all, history books. Do not read India's Struggle for Independence by Bipin Chandra. Just for like some very few topics, you can go through it. India After Gandhi by R.C. Goa, also like not recommended, because they're amazing books to read. Like once you have cracked the exam, you can just go through them. Or if you have lot of time, your first year of your college, you want to read, you can read for the fun purposes, for the like information purposes. But there is very poor emphasis on important and relevant points. Nobody is going to tell you कि this is important, this is not important, बेटा ये पढ़ो ये छोड़ दो. Nothing like that will be told by anybody, especially from perspective of competitive exams. This is not at all good, not at all. Note making process is very laborious. It will take you 1 year 2 years to make the notes, and they are more of a scholarly book, so avoid them. For science and technology, there is absolutely not a single book available in the market which you should read for science and technology. So I'll say that do not read any book on science and tech. Tata McGraw Hill Manual by Science and Tech, you can go through it. But I will 100% say that many people will say you go through it, but I will say that avoid it at all cost, because it is an outdated book. Okay, so they don't update it. Ashok Singh's book, it's outdated. They don't like, it's not at all a good advice. Now lot of coaching material is available too. The manual is different, the book is different, so sorry for that. Ashok Singh's book, do not read it. Lot of coaching material available, do not read it. Just remember the 75-25 rule. 75% of the questions will come from dynamic portions, and 25% will come from the static portion. So just focus on the like NCRTs plus newspaper plus science reporter. For Polity, DD Basu, Subhash Keshav, absolutely not required at all. There are more relevant for your optional if you have it, but otherwise also you can like ignore it. Like layout of the book, very like in-depth information, historical perspective, complicated language from DD Basu. I read it like once. It was so painful to read it, I'll tell you. Very complicated language. Just go for M. Lakshmikant. Avoid them, okay? For geography, it is again a technical subject. Simple language is key to understand it better. Just go for GC Leong part 1. Do not read like Khuller, Majid Hussain, etc. Avoid them. There is a lot of static and extensive information. If you see 2016 prelim, they don't ask any questions at all from there. Okay, they are good for optional. I don't think I am not somebody to suggest for optional, and they can be overlooked for GS. For economics, Indian Economy by Dutt Sundaram, Huma Kapila's book, all these are very scholarly kind of book. You need extensive and complex reading. Like it will take you 1 year to finish Dutt and Sundaram. Not kidding at all. It will take you like 6 months, 1 year to read this book, and you just have 6 months to 1 year for their preparation. Please avoid it. Don't read it. It's very time consuming, very boring. After 3-4 pages, you will feel very bored. Magazines में all the academic magazines should be avoided. Do not follow any general or anything like that. Just read Yojana. Only one magazine I recommend is Yojana. न्यूज़ मैगजीन लाइक इंडिया टुडे, द वीक, इकोनॉमिस्ट, ये सब नहीं पढ़ना होता है यार. प्लीज़ डू नॉट रीड दिस फॉर यूपीएससी. Similarly, Kurukshetra, Economic, Political Weekly, any other magazine should be avoided unless specifically you want to read this topic from EPW or this topic from Kurukshetra. That can be done, but do not read the magazines in general. Then for CSAT paper 2, unless you are very weak, you can give 1 week, but you should not read any manual. Quantitative aptitude should be given very less importance because most of the questions are asked from English reading comprehension and mental ability. All the manuals related to paper 2 should like will consume unnecessary times. Past year papers, mock test series are more than sufficient if you are weak in it. Then paper 1 manuals में आ जाओ, like it involves like cramming the information. TMS, Spectrum, Unique, they are encyclopedic in nature. So they are often a compilation of many important sources. It will result in double reading. So either read from one resource or read from here, but do not do double reading. Okay. Now India Yearbook, very selected chapters you have to read. Entire India Yearbook will take a lot of time to finish. So you have to read the selected chapters from which questions are asked. Otherwise it will result in information overload and note making and revision becomes very difficult. Similarly, one over my yearbook you can avoid it completely. Cool. Finally, miscellaneous part 1 is like books, biographies by and of politicians and bureaucrats. Avoid them. They are inspiring, but remember your aim is to clear the exam. And shortly after getting into services, you can read them as much as you want. You can avoid Wonder That Was India by L. Bhasham, Cultures, Environmental Studies by Rajgopalan, Environment for Civil Services by Khuller, Analytical Reasoning by M.K. Pandey, Verbal Non-Verbal Reasoning R.S. Agarwal. You can avoid all of them completely. Any book on IR, like there are so many books, Secret and all, do not read them. Any book on CSAT paper 2, do not read it. Any book for world history except normal law, do not read it. Social Problems in India by Ramahuja, do not read it. Any new book which comes in the market after this video, unless 50 of your friends or colleagues in coaching institute or your online buddies recommend it, do not read it. So at the end of the day, my personal suggestion is read one book 10 times rather than reading 10 books one time, and always focus that quality is the thing that matters and not the quantity. So thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day.